Hi, I'd like to get to know Jeffrey a little bit more. And this is Jeffrey Morrison from the Seattle area, from a little island. What is it?
Vashon Island.
Vashon. Uh-huh. Sounds very romantic.
It's a lovely place.
Oh, why don't you have an FOT conference in person there?
That would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I would sign up right away.
Okay.
So, in this series of getting to know focusing oriented therapists better, it's a wonderful opportunity for me to talk to Jeffrey. And Jeffrey is at a sort of peak moment, I think, in your life. At least it seems to me that you're flourishing and writing a chapter for a book, organizing the FOT conference um, for this year,
Hmm.
which starts in November. Um, and Jeffrey and I are both on a committee developing a new YouTube channel, the Focusing Oriented Therapy YouTube channel. And so we're using these videos to bring people together and to help us get to know each other. So I want to start by just asking you, um, I was going to ask you, and I will, what your therapy journey has been like, what made you want to be a therapist. But I want to ask you a surprise question first. what would you want people to know about you? The
Oh.
FOTs that and other people that will be watching this video on our YouTube channel.
Hmm. I would want them to know that I really love teaching, and that's more of what I'm doing these days in therapy. And I have a training program, which of course I could talk about, but it mostly what I love is working with therapists and other healing professionals because they're interested, they're already out there engaged, working with other people doing their healing work. And I can offer focusing and focusing oriented therapy to them so that whatever they're doing, they do an even better job. And I can begin to pass along what I know and my experiences. And I feel like I have a bigger impact working with those who work with others than just to work solely with individuals. And so I'm at a point in my life that's, kind of a transition of really less clinical work, more teaching, more kind of giving back and mentoring those that in most cases are younger and helping them come along with kind of their focusing journey.
Yes, yes, yes. What I notice about you is how how much you enjoy people, the
Oh,
people that you work with, the people on the committee, the people that you talk about that are developing the FOT conference. There's a kind of glow, you know, uh, a real sort of, in a way, I would think of it as a kind of parenting fervor of just
hmm.
being very pleased when people are coming along and expressing themselves.
Back in college, I kind of had this moment where I thought, really, I'm a coordinator and a facilitator. This was before I ever went to graduate school to become a therapist, but I look at myself like that now. I'm interested in gathering people together, facilitating a process, running groups and teaching. And that really suits me. I really love doing that. I had a little gathering of people at my house last Saturday on the first day of fall, and it was just so fun to
Mm.
have to be in person, because I do teach online, and have people gathered in my house, and to see, how they're using focusing in their practices, or naturopathic doctors, someone who, because of the work, got into pursuing becoming a therapist, and people doing different things. And so, yeah, thank you. I really do get energized to see what people do with focusing.
That sounds so ideal, having these people gathering on your little romantic island and talking about what focusing gives them in their work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what made you become a therapist? How did this life
Mm-hmm.
that has to do with therapy and teaching and supervising, how did that all come about?
That's a great question. I don't know that there was a defining moment. I think for me, I've always been curious about kind of the big picture, about, as a kid, what is utopia, and how would you structure utopia? And I
Oh,
wrote my
wow.
first philosophy paper when I was in 7th grade on Plato. And um, in college, I was a philosophy and religion undergraduate major. And I love ideas. I love thinking. And I took psychology courses, but the science end of it kind of turned me off. But after graduation, it was kind of like, what do you do with a philosophy and religion degree? I do like people. I like a sense of journey. I like a sense of shared exploring. And I was thinking of pursuing psychology, but in a couple of years off from undergraduate school, before graduate school, I was living at home in Pittsburgh. I read something that said there's this class being offered called focusing, which I didn't know what that meant. But the person who was teaching it also included something in the description about the philosophy underneath focusing, of which I was very familiar with. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take this class. And it was taught by a graduate student at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. And it was about the end of 1982, beginning of 1983. And I learned focusing. And this person let me know about a program starting out in Seattle, because the program at Duquesne, they had a 1-year program, they had a PhD. I kind of wanted to just do like a 2-year master's program, and a program had started at Seattle University, and one thing led to another. And by 1984, I was out in Seattle, studying existential phenomenological therapeutic psychology at Seattle University.
Wow, that's quite something.
Yeah.
When you talk about the things that you've loved and have sort of nourished you, it makes perfect sense that a focusing oriented therapy would be perfect for you. That sense of journey, that I think that many therapies don't have that, don't have the sense that it's not the destination but the journey,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a joint journey that has more dimensions just than making progress and solving problems. And your love of philosophy and the idea of the bigger picture. I mean, this was made for you.
Well, and I think in particular, FOT is a way of both the philosophy and the psychology, that it's kind of this mutual exploring. It's very relational.
Yeah.
And I love the depth. I love the sense of journey in my training program. I've really incorporated mythology,
Mm.
different ways of understanding ourselves through story, myth, and I really enjoy helping someone look at their lives and where they are and not see themselves as broken or what's wrong, but to look at that as kind of the raw material for, oh, if I can be with that and listen to that, I can really get a sense of who I am and how I can move forward to be the kind of person I would like to be. And I
Yeah,
think Jean's work and focusing are just tailor-made. I really see felt sensing as this, it gives us not a blueprint, but it gives us a way, it helps us orient to the mystery of life, to the implicit, to the more. And, and so there's always something more as you explore those edges of the unknown, of the uncertain. And of course, that can be hard because what's uncertain can feel a little shaky. And, myself, I get a little shaky when I don't know and I think I should know and I want to know because that would make me feel more comfortable. But it's really those unknown, unclear edges where the new comes. And we have developed ways and language and working with a felt sense that really facilitate that beautifully.
mm.
And I think, really bring in the improvisational, the open-ended, creative, relational aspects of all this. And that's just plain fun.
It certainly is. Yes, yes. I liked what you said about an orientation that um, I think of it like a map uh, or signposts or um, the stars orient us in time and space.
Mhm.
And focusing is this way of orienting us beyond time and space, where we are, where we can go, um, all of the signs of the journey that are beneath the surface of the time and space. And you described that very well there.
We all have our own sense of what time is, and
Yeah.
it helps us drop into our own implicit intricacy, our own sense of that is beyond any kind of external, standardized, measured way of looking at things.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if you have any inklings or desires or projections into the future, what you would be wanting to do, wanting to make.
Mm. Well, I think I would like to write some more. I think, there's a lot that's been said about FOT, and I think there's some ways to say it freshly.
Oh yeah.
And I would personally like to do some more retreats and teaching, so getting people together. I love this concept I have of practices for change, that we can learn practices like meditation and focusing and yoga, or many different kinds of things, that if we really are working on practices that help us be present, then we cultivate the awareness and the freedom to make non-habitual choices, which is really at the foundation of what change is. And so for me, I think going beyond just my training program and challenging myself to teach in some new ways and to bring in the spiritual and to leave it open-ended. But I think when you have some experience with felt sensing, it really opens you to that mystery, to the beyond. And that not only is very personal, it really puts me in touch, my sense of being with everything. And that's an experience I had when I first learned focusing. We did clearing the space, and who are you once you have a cleared space, and what is your sense of connection to the world? And I had this experience of like, oh, this is my connection to, like, I can feel all that.
Yeah,
And I would like to share that because our world needs to feel more connected, not more divided.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're very welcome. Thank you, Lynn.
Enjoyed
Your
this
work has been
dialogue.
very important to me, especially on the giving language to the relationality of things. And so I'm very honored.
Well, I'm very happy that you incorporated my work into your journey. Very pleased. So I will see you at the conference.
Yay.
Bye bye now.